Hi, my name is Brooke Tryon, and I am a master's student in the athletic training program. I did my research on the knowledge that Idaho high school wrestling coaches have on skin infections. Wrestling is a popular sport among adolescents. According to the National Federation of State High School Association, a little over 200,000 adolescents compete in high school wrestling, and in Idaho alone, there are just over 2,000. Wrestling has a high rate of injury and are also at great risk for developing skin infections. If a skin infection is serious enough, it can result in time lost to the sport. The most common infections recorded in high school wrestlers include ringworm, herpes simplex, impetigo, and MRSA. Due to the high amount of skin infections in wrestling, it is important that both the coaches and the athletes are aware of the signs and symptoms to help reduce the spread to other athletes. The purpose of this study was to determine how well high school wrestling coaches in Idaho know about skin infections. A survey was created and distributed through Qualtrics. It was then reviewed for face validity and then approved by the IRB. The survey was sent out via email. The survey was sent out to 100 coaches, with 18 coaches completing the survey. The coaches range from having 3 to 33 years of coaching experience. One of the questions that was asked was for the coaches to rate their knowledge of skin infections on a scale of 1 to 10. The average rating among the respondents was 7.7 out of 10. And as you can see in the middle of the poster, there are a few graphs. These graphs represent the questions that were asked about skin infections, and these are questions 8 through 13. For question 8, which pathogens cause skin infections, 85% of the respondents chose the correct answers. For question 9, match the image with the correct type of skin infections, 87.8% of the answers were chosen correctly. For question 10, what is a good way to prevent the onset or spread of skin infections, 89.9% of the answers were chosen correctly. For question 11, which of the following are risk factors for MRSA, 66% of the answers were chosen correctly. For question 12, which of the following early symptoms indicate a possible skin infection, this was the question that had the most incorrect answers at 49.7%. And last but not least, for question 13, how soon should a person report an unusual rash on the skin? 100% of the respondents answered correctly. After the data was reviewed, it is seen that coaches in Idaho are aware of skin infections, but could improve in some areas. For all the questions regarding skin infections, the average percent of the answers answered correctly was just over 86%. And the average percent of the answers answered incorrectly was 18.20%. So if you look at this on a scale of 1 to 10, they rated an 8.6 out of 10. So they did better than what they predicted themselves. And then due to the results, the biggest concern found was in question 10. Question 10 was regarding preventative measures to prevent the onset spread of skin infections. 33% of the respondents said that they clean mats only once a week. Coaches should know the best practices for mat cleaning. In order to know the best practices for preventative measures, there are many free resources out there that the coaches can get a hold of that regard skin infections and their education in wrestling. These resources include the National Wrestling Coaches Association, the National Federation of State High School Association, and the National Athletic Trainers Association position statement on skin diseases. All coaches should be presented with the resources to help educate or re-educate themselves on skin infections. And lastly, coaches should also have a preseason meeting with the athletes and parents regarding the prevention of skin infections. And these preseason meetings should discuss the importance of reporting an unusual skin rash or lesion, the importance of hygiene, and they should also discuss about how it can lead to time loss in the sport. Thank you for joining me today and listening to my presentation. I would just like to give a quick thanks to Dr. Danny Moffat and Dr. Carla Judge for helping me through this research. And I would also like to give a big thanks to my family for supporting me throughout my college career. And also I would like to thank my classmates for spending these last 2 years with me and being one of the best classes I've ever been a part of. Thank you.